What is up, nerds, gamers, amateur movie critics? I'm all those things, and that is why you are here watching Burke the Nerd. And today, I am bringing on the one and only PaddyMC26. He's going to talk. He's worked at both the Disney and Universal parks. He's a good friend of mine, and I wanted to bring him on because there's some crazy stuff that came out last month. The Super Nintendo World is officially dropping in Japan in early February. And with that, we're also getting news that Super Nintendo World is going to be coming to Orlando Universal Park as well as LA and in Singapore. So I want to kind of talk about that and what we can expect and what we think about that. And we're going to also dive into what that extra competition could mean for future Marvel parks, whether or not there's stuff down the pipeline, and for expanding that Marvel franchise, as well as for Star Wars as well. We know Galaxy Edge exists in both. We're going to talk a lot about those things. I'm going to bring him in here in just a second. I do want to say hi to everybody in the chat, though. What's up, Tim? We got Patty, which is obviously here today. Oh, 25. I have 26 written down. Dang it. We got Parker. What's up, Parker? Cap in Pennsylvania. Good to see you, Cap. Glad you're here, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Stormy is in the house. What is up, everybody? And let's just dive right into it. So let me bring him on here. What is up, Patty? How you doing?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Good. Is it 25 or 26? The world needs an answer.
Really threw me off. Oh, am I good? Is it there?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Hey, how are you guys? Great to be here. Happy to be on the show.
Yeah, man. You've been lurking in the chat for enough time, so it's about time to bring you in.
Thank you.
But yeah, I just kind of wanted to go into it. We're gonna start by watching the part of the trailer for the Nintendo World there, and then I want to kind of nerd out a little bit about what's happening there. I know we're both Nintendo fans, I'm sure, as is everyone else in the chat. But it's kind of hard. I don't know that you could be a millennial or really any. I don't know how you could be a kid at one point and not be a Nintendo fan, to be completely honest with you.
Oh, I know.
But it's kind of, to be honest with you, the news that Super Nintendo World is coming, like, that to me seems like it should have been, like, that should have happened a long time ago almost. Like, I'm kind of wondering why it took so long to make a Super Nintendo theme park. Do you have any thought to why would it have even taken that long?
So yes. This is actually for people that work at Universal and at their hotels, respectively. This actually isn't news, the Super Nintendo World to Orlando. We've known about this probably since the start of last year that we're going to get that. Where it's going to be is probably what is the big factor, just because of how the land is set up in Orlando and that entire area of where they want to put all that stuff.
Right.
They haven't, started at the ground level yet. So it's taken a lot for the construction. They have to pretty much almost buy out a bunch of hotels in the area and wait for them to go bankrupt so they can get the space for it at this point, right? Like,
yeah.
The Super Mario Nintendo World for Orlando will be opening with Epic Universe when their new park opens up, which will be Universal's largest park to date. So
wow, actually, that's new to me.
How that comes out?
Yeah, that's actually super new to me as well. I'm wondering where they are even opening that. Mr. Otter, what's up? And Jim's in the house too. Good to see you guys. Really quick, I guess before we dive into that, I kind of forgot to touch on this first. Do you want to kind of explain your background with the parks? Because obviously you've been there for at least since after, I don't know how long after high school until when you went down there, but maybe you could just kind of give a recap on what you've been doing with the parks.
Okay, so back in 2017, I started working for Disney. I worked at Wilderness Lodge as a lifeguard on a Disney college program. Then I came back for a semester, did a little bit more school, and then went back down to Orlando to start working there full time, and I moved down there. So I started working at Blizzard Beach, their theme park, water park at Disney, one of them. Kind of got tossed around a little bit, ended up deciding maybe I should try the other side of town. Went to the Universal hotels. I'm enjoying myself there, and that's where I'm currently at now, at the wonderful Universal Dockside Resort that just opened up this past December.
Oh, cool. There's also some interesting other things when we get into the Star Wars. There's a hotel that I'm gonna be curious whether or
Yes.
not you're gonna be relocating again because that sounds
I'm
awesome.
optimistic, you know.
Yeah, but we can get into that a little bit down the road. That'll be something. But the Bichon boy has arrived. Wait, really quick tangent. I have to go on it now that he brought it up. Have you been following the Singapore otter feud that is happening right now?
I
Because
have
there is
not.
a turf war between two rival groups of endangered otter species that
Okay.
are they're two different families that live in different parts of the city in Singapore, and one is called the Bichon 10 and the other is like
Hmm.
a different, it's the something family, and they sound pretentious, so obviously I'm on the Bichon 10 side. And but there's literally a otter civil war that's happening in Singapore right now, and it's being covered by the news or something. A couple of us got caught up in it, and now we're very interested. That's really all I know now. I need to definitely look into it. Mr. Otterson, nothing beats the Cartoon Network Hotel in Intercourse, PA. Yeah, so I got married in a town of a very weird name called Intercourse, PA, and it's near it's the Dutch Wonderland. It's a theme park up there. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's called the Dutch Wonderland, and there is a Cartoon Network hotel there, and it does not look
Okay.
like a hotel I want to stay at. It
Okay.
it does not look great. It kind of looks like it is still in a cartoon.
Jesus.
I did, Landon. I did get married there. Um, I think they gave the address, like they made their address the town over, but but yes,
Mm.
technically, I did get married there. Interesting strategy. I would not do that in front of all those people. I know. I tried not to.
Oh,
But
imagine a return address on there. You know.
imagine the return address. Anyway, small tangent there. Yeah, so it's interesting though. It does still feel like that it took so long to kind of make a Nintendo park. Do you think it was purely land restraints? Alyssa, what's up? Welcome.
Absolutely
Join you as
not.
well.
For that, I do not think it was land restraints in the slightest. I think that, forgive me, I'm blanking on the corrector of Mario, or the creator of Mario's name,
I don't
Moriyoshi,
remember. Yeah.
Mario, something like that. He basically just wanted to do it right. If you
Okay.
look, and if when we pull up
No
this
worries.
video coming up of the tour of the theme park, the amount of little details that he put into that thing
Right.
is unreal. That's like he just didn't want to rush the product,
Yeah.
like he wanted
It's
to have the technology at the time to be able to create everything that he visioned and pictured.
You know what? I never really think about it. Oh, Shigeru Miyamoto.
Miyamoto, thank you, thank you,
Miyamoto. Yep.
thanks, chat.
You know what? That's a really good point because like when you look at what it looks like, they really did it right. And
Oh yeah.
you would think that like my thought is like, man, I would have seen like Disney World come out and be like, oh, let's make like like I would have seen like I would have thought in like the early 2000s they would have been on this. But you're right, like they seem to have a different level of patience, Nintendo, in terms of like not really concerning themselves with what other people are doing. They always kind of seem to do their own thing. And
Mhm.
so when it comes to entering like the theme park space, it seemed like they were very much like, okay, let's just do what we want to do. And kind of make what we want to make. I will only go to Nintendo Park if there's an entire section dedicated to Kirby. Well, there's the thing. I would bet there is, and we're going to get into some speculation of what we would like to see in that, and you guys can start dropping some things. But Alyssa, EJ Rich asks, that Nintendo's making a park. Yes, they are, and that's kind of what we're focusing on today. And I'll go through a quick trailer of one. It's already built in Japan, and
Yes.
it is it's in Tokyo, and it's Tokyo Universal, and it is a incredible site. It comes out next month. It opens to the public, and which we don't need to talk about the other stuff that goes along with why they're opening. Doesn't matter. But they're opening next month, and with that, the Nintendo in Universal LA and Universal Orlando are set for next year, right? That was what we were saying. Next year is the opening, or no, 2023 is what I read. Is 2023?
Yes, originally it was 2023. That is when Epic Universe was going to open up. However,
And then
as of
everything,
right now,
yeah.
Yeah, and then everything. So I think they delayed it another year to 2024, um, which actually was a big issue, funny enough, with the rights to Nintendo World and
Oh,
Orlando, um, based on the building permits and the licenses agreements that they were
oh no.
making and stuff. Because they've had to push it back a year, there was a chance they weren't even going to be able to make Nintendo World there, just because their
Oh,
license would have
jeez.
expired that time. So
Dude,
like,
licensing
yeah.
issues are like such a like big problem, and we'll get into that
Oh,
more.
absolutely.
We'll get to that even more when we get to Marvel. Just wait. but
Yeah.
but but Nintendo, like, it's LA is already in production. Like, they're already building the LA one.
Yes.
So that one
It's
seems
just
like
the Orlando
they
one.
probably will be on track for 2023 there. But the Orlando one, yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder
Yeah,
until
it
we
got
get to that
delayed
one.
because of that.
Though I imagine the LA one's going to be smaller because, I mean, it's LA. How are you going to even find the real
Yeah.
estate for it? So it's probably going to be smaller in Los Angeles, but it's definitely going to be fun. Yeah, we're going to talk in a second about what we want to see in those parks for sure. Try not to. I thought that was announced. What did I miss here? You're going to have attractions centered around those carnivorous plants. Yeah, the piranha plants. Yep. What's up, Wells?
That is
Glad
true.
you're here, man. Just main characters, though, right? What did I miss? I missed something. Clearly missed a conversation here. Granted, it's now large enough to warrant, but back when Disney and other stuff started, it was not big enough name around the world. That's true. That is true. And Solid Snake walking around getting an autograph. Yes, I just want Solid Snake to be in his cardboard box around, or like have multiple cardboard boxes that are like probably like attached to the ground or something, but just a bunch of them, and you have to like peek under them for the mascot to be hiding under there.
Right.
Just a little mini game, which they seem to do a lot of mini games, and we'll get to that as well. They already have a Mario Kart ride, but it's not a go-kart track, and so that's one of the things. So once they built this park, I saw a picture of it. It was like a quick video on TikTok or something. I think I saw, which I know I have to apologize again to half of the chat that's gonna say it's gonna roast me for being on TikTok. I know, but I'm on there and it's too late. And but no, there's a there was a TikTok on it, and it basically just showed an image of the park, and it was like, yeah, this is real. And I'm like, and it looked like an art rendition.
Yeah.
So if you guys saw my Instagram post,
how great it looks.
it literally looks like an art, like somebody. It looks like you're looking at the game, and that's so.
Yeah.
It's weird to want to go backwards, because you know what I'm saying. Like art, like the games want to go. A lot of games go for realism, right? But like it's making the park look like a game, which is totally weird to like try to go the other way. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like trying to go
I hear
away
what you're
from
saying on this.
realism, like a surrealism to it. It's very very cool. And I think it's like it's going to be groundbreaking. And to be honest with you, I look at Disney parks, right? And like what can I see? What is an IP in my head that can match the popularity and attention that Disney has, that like Disney as just an iconic brand has? It's Nintendo. Like that's the only thing that I think can match Disney's energy is Nintendo in terms of popularity and clout. Like in my head, like Nintendo is the ace up their sleeve to compete with Disney in my head. Do you think that?
I definitely, for me, yes.
You can disagree with
I've
me
now
as well.
been down here. I've been surrounded. I've been surrounded by people who are very, very much involved and love Disney with all their heart. Trust me. But I can agree with Nintendo is one of those just like family friendly kind of properties that that when you think about, you just think of like having good memories and positive memories and stuff with like I can agree with that they're one of the few that they really stand out to fight against the rising empire that is Disney.
Exactly. And so interesting to see like an actual park entering that like is on a level similar to Disney. Like you see Universal and they're always there, and like their Hogwarts section is definitely like a big competitor and what brings a lot of people to the Universal parks in my experience. But like Disney has always kind of just had the leg up, right?
Yeah, they've always had it.
And to me, bringing Nintendo there, like if I went and there's now a Nintendo park, I've been to Disney a bunch of times, but like going there and knowing that they have a Nintendo park, I'm like, yeah, why would I go? Like Disney's great,
Yeah, I know.
but like you're gonna get every age group. You making, and I guarantee you, when it comes to Orlando, and maybe we'll just dive right into this, but like, because I see people already kind of saying things that should be in the parks, but like, there's going to be like an Animal Crossing section, and you're going to bring all the new kids in, and there's going to be like you can make a Pokemon section, and that's going to be huge for all ages.
Absolutely.
And then you bring like, but like, you're going to get like even more than Disney. I think you'll get more people into a Nintendo park than you'd get into Disney. And it's kind of crazy to think that, because before you could say, what's the biggest park of all time? It's Disney World. But if they do Nintendo World, like in a Super Nintendo World, like they have in Japan, and we'll show you guys in a second, because I feel like a lot of you haven't even seen it yet, so it's kind of hard to understand why I'm so excited about it. But like, it could literally usurp that quickly as like the park to go to. If you want to give your thoughts, then I'm going to go back in the comments real quick, and I'm going to start pulling up that video and show you guys a quick reel of it.
Of course. I could think that when on launch, right, when Super Nintendo World officially opens for Epic Universe and in Orlando and in LA, it's absolutely going to draw the majority of the crowds from Disney over there, and like people that are going down for also like the SeaWorld, Busch Gardens and stuff, going to the Central Florida area in Orlando. It's definitely going to pull in crowds and crowds and crowds of people. My main concern is that they're going to build this, this incredible park. It's going to be fantastic, but they're just going to let it sit there, and they're just going to let it rot and pretty much like get all the attention, and they're just not going to take care of it or add anything else onto it.
Okay. Is that a statement to is that a statement to Universal or Nintendo? Like, where's your concern at?
I think it's probably both, because yes, it's Universal's job to make sure they have the space to like add additions to those areas and stuff, but it's also Nintendo's job to think of other things and not to be like, this is the base idea, this is everything I have. Now that it's there, we're not going to do anything else to it.
Okay, yeah, I can see what you're saying there. That could definitely be a risk. I don't know though. Like, do they have a track record of doing that?
For Nintendo?
Just or Universal, I guess.
Something and letting it sit there. I don't know. I don't think they have a track record of it. I think it's just down here with theme parks, it's so very competitive. Like if you look at Disney, they have constantly interchanging parks. Their parks are their own like living organisms because of how much they change. Like they get rid of rides, they add new rides, they completely change walkways just to make it look fresh, all the time. And that's not something that, Universal has necessarily been doing. Sure, they added, they're like, oh, here's the Harry Potter world, but that's been their biggest addition in the last 2 decades.
Yeah, it's been a while, right? They haven't done much since then. Yeah.
Yeah, and you look at Disney and they're like, oh, Galaxy's Edge, oh, an entire Marvel area is going to come out with this, like they've been pumping it out. They've been reimagining the parks, redoing everything.
Now, I would say though, with like you said, with Miyamoto waiting so long to make sure they did it right, you could argue that because Universal doesn't own Nintendo, maybe part of that agreement comes with some stipulations on the level of quality and maintaining that. Like it could be that they are to ensure that reputation are instilling some sort of contingency to ensure that. Or I mean that's just speculation, but I'm not sure.
I can kind of get that as well.
Here, let me show. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Good.
Oh no, please.
I'm gonna play this trailer. There's a longer 15-minute video of a walkthrough of the park. I'm just gonna show you the quick 47-second trailer. I might pull up some images. I can only play with fair use, like more like not even 10 minutes. So I wanted to make sure to just play this shorter version. This is the real park. This is what it looks like legitimately what it looks like. Yes, that's Bowser's Castle that they made in real life. Mario Kart ride. It
So if you
looks
actually go and watch the 15-minute version of this, and it'll show you the entranceway. Your entranceway is the N64 Peach's castle.
yes, yep, yeah. It
And
enters into
it
Peach's
plays
Castle
that
through the
music
tube,
the
right?
entire time. Mhm.
Yep. And it plays the different types of music based on where you're at, and it looks incredible. So
Oh
they have
yes.
this, and then and on top of that, I've seen all of these different ideas. I want to eat a mushroom and go drive go-karts. Yeah, that's actually
exactly what you
that's
do.
yeah. I
That's-
mean, they got this they got a permit for special use of specific drugs, and apparently that's part of their attraction. So really trying to bring you into into their park. No, I'm kidding. But no, there's some crazy, just like I'm gonna see if I can pull up more images, just kind of as we talk about it. Let's do that. But there's a lot of just, it is just beautiful. It is a stunningly beautiful park. There's a lot of really cool rides that they have. Like there's a Yoshi, there's like a Yoshi slower, kind of like more interactive
yeah,
ride.
little family kid ride. Just
right.
get on the Yoshi, ride it around in circles, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's all the different colors like in the old Yoshi games, which is kind of nice. They have some other interactive things. They have these like really, really high-end not high-end restaurants, but like fancy like foods specific restaurants that kind of look really interesting. It's just
it's
stunningly beautiful park.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I genuinely believe, most of these theme parks and stuff, they do their best to make the guests feel interactive and interact with the park itself and feel like the park is more than just, something they're visiting.
Right.
But the what they've shown with Super Nintendo World and how how interactive that is, it is a completely different level. It is
Yeah.
There's a companion app that gets you actual coins that
Yes.
I believe
Yep.
can be used to redeem like actual items and gifts from the store or something like that, or discounts.
Right.
There's the restaurant, which is all Toad themed.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can get an image of that. Super Nintendo World Japan Toad Restaurant.
Yes. So the entire thing is Toad themed. So all of the food is mushrooms.
Yep. And this is some pictures of the actual food that you can get in there, which looks freaking incredible. This is what the restaurant looks like, and it does give off Disney vibes. And the reason it gives off Disney vibes is just because of the attention to detail. But honestly, the attention to detail in this specific park, I think surpasses the detail that you see in a Disney park. Do you?
I 100% agree. My favorite part is the little details on this. So it's the floating coins that are actually spinning the entire time.
Yes.
That for me is just such a tiny detail that like I am so appreciative of. I love it. I think it looks amazing. You have, I think, actual like Yoshis on like little animatronics walking around and stuff. You have Goombas going back and forth stacked up, as well as Koopas and stuff. You see this image over here on your right with the POW blocks.
With the POW blocks. Yep. Stormy,
Yes.
thanks for the 1 bit, man.
Yeah, so this little POW block thing is actually an entire, little side thing, an
Japan just
interactive
does it
thing.
better.
So, like a green shell or something like that slides between the warp pipe, and your job is
Yes.
to time your hit right on the POW block
Yep.
and send the POW block up to knock over the Koopa up there and get coins for it, or a key or something like that. I think that unlocks something for you.
Yeah, it like gives you all these different there's a bunch of little mini games. There's a big Bomb interactive game that's like in this cave somewhere. That I saw. They didn't want to show it. They were like, we want to keep some secrets. Then there's also like, even in the dining experience, you order your food up in front of a screen.
Yeah.
And then
from Toad and
from Toad, and then it shows you in the screen. Oh man, do I just have to pull up this video and like I feel like I need to show a little bit more of this. I can skip through it and keep within the time frame that I have. I think that'll make it.
Yeah, we could skip through it and stuff,
I almost feel like I have
That'll
to
make it
show
better.
it. Like like as long as I think you can show things under 10 minutes is what I think it is. So
yeah, just mute the audio and stuff.
Yeah,
Just-
it'll
and
be
you'll
fine. Yeah, he
I'm
basically, I
optimistic.
mean, he's speaking Japanese anyway, so it's not exactly like the
Yeah.
audio is doing as much good. But basically, that's like an entrance through this big warp tunnel, and it opens up into Peach's castle, and the music's all playing like old, like fantastic, like Nintendo music that we're gonna recognize, which is incredible. Let me get some
Yes.
comments really quick because I do have to. There's you guys are going like crazy here, and I forgot a bunch of stuff. Captain Pennsylvania acknowledged he wants to make a Donkey Kong. He wants at the entrance you have to jump over Donkey Kong throwing barrels, or over the barrels, not over Donkey Kong throwing them. There was a discussion about having Mr. Otter wants to see the Nintendo mascots get into a death battle with the Disney mascots, which would love to see that. That's like an off the strip like that's what happens at like a dine-in theater thing that happens off of the actual restaurants and stuff. Like you see that happen behind the scenes. Like you go to one of those like side restaurants that is not affiliated with either, and they have like knockoff mascots fighting. It's definitely gonna happen. I want to see it. That would be great.
They have the mascots in this video. They have
they
Luigi
do.
and Mario. Yeah, come in and they're actually animatronic masks as well for so their eyes and heads move and they talk and such, which isn't a very common thing you'd find at Disney or Universal,
right?
Because only the people that are actually without masks, the face characters, they're the only ones allowed to actually talk. This thing is super cool. Their little power band that they have.
Yep.
The rip-off magic band.
The rip-off magic band. It looks cool though.
I agree, but it does a little more than magic bands do. The power-up band, excuse me, that's what it's called. So with this, he has this app that he's showing right now that connects to it with these little coins in the top. And if you hit these mystery blocks around the park, or you find these symbols or emblems, on the walls and things, you tap your wristband. Oh, dude, I can't talk.
Yeah, you're good.
Your wristband to it, and it'll activate and it'll add up those coins on your app and go straight there.
Yeah.
So there's also different things that will attract. Like there's a sleeping piranha plant, which is what's behind him right now. Apparently, that'll wake up and attack if you activate it.
Yep, which is so cool. Like, oh my goodness. And they don't even show us the activity. Like there's a ton of other things that you can do. It looks like you have to try to get that coin in some way without waking him up.
Yeah, get the key without waking him up or something.
And then you see this Bowser's Castle is probably the most jarring thing about the whole park is just seeing how much attention to that freaking Bowser's Castle. Oh my goodness. Also, really, I was just cracking up at Parker saying you need to look at the Nick Hotel mascots. They were scary. And Philly Cheesehog is hanging out. I see Wells is here. I see Bad for Business. If I didn't say hello to you guys yet, welcome. We're talking about how crazy this park is and how they're bringing it to Universal Orlando and to the one in LA and the one in Singapore if you happen to be in Asia. So maybe if Mark is here, he can go check that one out. Though I honestly might as well just go to Japan as well. But seriously, it's pretty bonkers. And yes, guys, I'm a Disney shill. Of course I am. You have to give money to the mouse. But look at Nintendo doing the most out here. So I don't know. I might have to change sides. And we'll make some arguments in Disney's behalf later. But there's so much cool things here. I think this PAL one, this shows him. I think he shows it here. But the activity.
Yes.
And he already did
so
it.
He'll hit it and bop it and make it go off. Oh, skip right over it.
No, I think it already happened. I was just not looking when it happened.
Oh, okay.
Basically, yeah, he has to hit it at the right time. Hit the PAL button at the right time to make it go up and hit the shell. Just the attention to detail and making you have control over these large animatronics, like personally, that's really cool.
Yes.
And like that plays such a big factor. It seems like there's gonna be even though the park has these rides and these interactive things, like it seems like in itself it's designed to be a game that you can play with your family and your friends. Like that's gonna be so awesome. Just because you said you're gonna switch to Disney, switch side, Disney is gonna buy Nintendo now. Yep. Well, you know what? That's one of the few IPs I don't know that Disney would make. Never mind. I'm gonna make enemies if I say anything like that. No, seriously though, like this is just such a cool park. The question I have, do you think that bringing a park like this to LA and Disney, do you think that to LA and to Orlando, do you think that they are going to try to up the quality of what we're seeing, and the quality and the scale of what we're seeing here in the Japan park, or do you think it's going to be similar, or maybe they're going to try to just make a little bit of a cheaper version and focus on cost? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think the LA one is probably going to be based on cost, and they're probably going to, try and squeeze a cheaper one out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The Orlando one, they have so much more room because they have such a massive plot of land with
Right.
the Epic Universe
Yep.
park that's coming out. So I think they are either going to upscale it or just kind of stretch it out a little bit more. You
Right.
know what I mean? Just to put a little more space, but have everything be the same still.
Okay. And you're right, and Alyssa makes a point that Japan does have a higher standard when it comes to types of stuff like this in terms of quality. Have you seen the Disneyland Sea in Japan?
Yes.
What that looks like? That's an
Yes.
incredible looking park. One of the most beautiful Disney parks I've ever seen. I really want to go there. That's definitely up on my list. Stormbreaker says the parks aren't the parks in LA and Orlando going to be Zelda and Pokemon based also? So that's a point. I think we could probably, as we're going through this video, talk a little bit about that, but they definitely have more room to expand. It seems like the Japan one is really focusing, at least for now, on just their core Mario IP, right? It seems like this is just making a Super Mario World almost, as at least as the core to start out.
Yeah. Which
makes
well,
sense. It makes sense for Japan, and also just the fact that like Japan seems to be more heartfelt towards their iconic core IP, at least from my observation. Do you think that like with going to I guess let's start with LA, because I think when we get to Orlando, like you said, they have more space, and they're also have, in my opinion, a harder competition there because they are trying to compete with Disney World, right? And
yes.
But let's start with LA. What do you think, what would be your ideal park, knowing that they're restricted by size, and knowing that like obviously they're going to try to, they have some cost competition, and it's going to be a little more expensive to do things there. What would your ideal Super Nintendo land be in LA? What would it look like? Save some craziness from for the Orlando one.
Oh, I'll hold back then. Sorry. I don't know. I mean, I really think,
I know,
looking at this base of what they have in Japan, of the Super Nintendo world that they're going with here, because it's not just like a Super Mario world, it's the Super Nintendo world, right? Like,
Right.
that's what they're calling it.
Yep.
Which definitely implies that they are going to add more Nintendo properties to it eventually. In LA, I would love to see some Zelda aspects. Honestly, I think that would be a great spot and place for it over there. Mainly because with Zelda, there's so much of it that can be easily recognized. I feel like in Zelda, like so many little things that it doesn't matter which game you played for Zelda, you could put one or two little different things from each of those games, and it would still look fantastic. Like if they had like an Epona horse riding or something like that ride or something like that, that would look great. Like
petting zoo.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Nothing but chickens or something like that,
I want I want one of those what's that arcade, the carnival game or whatever, where you like the what is it, whack-a-mole, but whack-a-mole except it's pots and you have to break the pots as they come out.
Yes, that'd be nice. I wouldn't mind that at all, especially if they have this power-up band thing, right? They could do something with that, where like you could see a pot or something like that, tap your power band to it, it could make the little shatter noise that they used to do, and the rupee would come out or something like that, and it would go to your app. And I think that'd be a cool concept for them at least.
Yeah.
But I really would love to see. I would love to see Zelda over in LA compared to down here. Now for Orlando, I'm a little bit of a bias because I love the property.
Yep.
But if they did like a Pokemon land in there, you would have so much of everything, I think.
Yep. I
Like,
don't know why you wouldn't, almost, to be honest with you.
I agree with that. There's just no reason. It's easily a property that can compete because everyone pretty much knows the property of Pokemon, right? Like everyone has at least seen one or two of them in their lives, if not played the games, traded the cards. with that open space, there's so much you can do, and with Pokemon, it's
Jason.
such a massive, pile of, property itself. With what there like 1,000 something Pokemon now or something like that, almost close to.
Yeah. There's a
With
it's a lot.
yeah, with 8 games and stuff, like you can definitely do so much
Oh
with
yeah.
that.
And now
Um,
I would love. Actually, I'll wait and I'll go through mine when you're done. So actually, yeah, you keep continue.
oh, okay, all right, well, that's fine. Um, no, there's only 151. Wrong. um,
They have
but
a whole ride where it's just you trying Professor Oak trying to get you out into the world, and it's
Yeah, right.
and so he can never mind. Okay, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Park Outdoors has a great comment here of giant Pokemon. That'd be a cool concept too. If you had
Dude.
like the arena from the new games of Sword and Shield, like
Yep.
have like a almost like how to describe it, like a mechanical like fighting simulator, almost
Yeah.
like you're playing massive Rock'em Sock'em robots with
Oh, yeah.
Dynamax Pokemon or something like that in front of you. That'd be I
Dude,
think,
and the
pretty fantastic,
mascot. Okay, and then we're also not even talking about the mascots that would be awesome to see in a Pokemon part of the Nintendo park, as well
Oh,
as
yeah.
like they could easily do a Pokemon parade. And tell me you wouldn't, adult or kid, tell me you don't want to go see a Pokemon parade. Come on, I mean,
Right.
like
Oh, absolutely.
you want to see it. You want to see it. We all want to see it. You don't have to lie to yourself. We want to see a Pokemon parade. Oh, you're right. There could be like how cool would it be? You know how like Disney has those like shows? Like don't they have like pop-up shows that they sometimes do? Like little like pop-up events that happen?
Yes.
How
Yes,
cool
they
would it
do.
be to have like a Pikachu pop-up event where Team Rocket shows up and tries to like kidnap him? Like how cool would that be to see as like a pop-up event during when you're in the Pokemon part?
Oh, I think that'd be amazing, just
Oh my
at
goodness.
that point, but like because they do something similar in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge with the Stormtroopers, right? So the Stormtroopers will come out looking for random resistance members and fighters that are there in the park, and go running around looking for them, and like the resistance members will go into hiding and all go hide and stuff around when the Stormtroopers are out. So something like that with Team Rocket would be very cool, I think. Excuse me, but I don't know. I think having that much space and not trying to utilize it with the most of what you can do, especially with a property like Pokemon, you can drop so much in it.
Right.
It's just a waste,
Yeah. No, it's like there's literally an incredible amount of opportunity. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead just so I don't have the video on for 10 minutes. So yeah, I mean, there's literally an incredible amount with Pokemon just alone, right? That they could easily. Now I'm curious because I know rights can get kind of confusing, but I'm gonna assume that Nintendo's held on to park rights. I'm gonna assume that they haven't given them to anyone because I feel like it would have already been used, right? I haven't seen any really Pokemon stuff used anywhere, so I'm gonna assume that hasn't been sold to anyone. But if anyone were to be, that would be the one I'd be worried about being already sold to somebody, like maybe like 10 years ago when they weren't thinking about it. But what else would you like to see if you're talking to Disney or like a Nintendo World in Orlando?
If they could somehow work like an old Super Smash Brothers element to it, that'd be, I think, pretty sick.
Yes.
Or like an entire like a Mario Party area, or Mario Party
what's
like
his
hotel theme. I think
that'd be so cool. I'm trying to think of what's his name that created Smash Bros. And the whole part, that whole section about the park is him just trying to convince us that it's not a competitive video game, because that's like his whole beef. Because if you guys don't know, the creator of Super Smash Bros. Despises the fact that game was turned into a competitive video game, and he really just like wants everyone to like play it as a party game, and so he always does everything in his power to make sure that it's not turned into a competitive game. Despite his best efforts, it still is though. But but yeah, no, like that's so that was kind of a peek at it while we were talking, and I'll just keep the image up here for now. But Yeah, I mean, like, there is literally so much potential. I see Stormbreaker saying a Metroid thing. They have Pokemon game centers in Japan, but it's like a store experience. That's something. Ice climber rock climbing would be pretty cool, like a rock climbing adventure. Is that web browser? Web browser? I don't know. And Cap has beef with Pikachu. I would love to explore that, Cap. Why you have a beef with Pikachu. I'm gonna go grab some dinner with fam. Have a good night. See you, Tim. Have a good one, man. There's so much. Is Power Rangers Nintendo? To my best knowledge, it's not.
No, that was at one point Nickelodeon property. Fun
Yeah.
fact, actually, for people that didn't know this, back in 2008 and before, Disney used to actually own Power Rangers.
Really?
So yes, so they would actually have a Power Rangers parade that would go through Hollywood Studios way back when.
Dang.
And it'll be all like the Power Rangers like on the floats and such. I don't even know if there are images of it anymore. Hang on.
Oh, Kirby section for sure. So while you're looking that up, because I'm curious, so I'm gonna go through my Disneyland or I keep saying Disneyland because that's how I reference the locations, like LA and Orlando. I'm gonna talk about my Super Nintendo world in LA first. So I think it's small, right? So what I would do best is I would try to recreate what you have in the Japan section. With a kind of a twist to it. I don't think you're going to get much more space than what you see in the Super Nintendo world in Japan. I mean, they both have a land issue, right? And that's part of why it's not super massive of a park. So I would say you probably try to replicate what you have there and pull in the American market. So I wouldn't go much crazier. Mario's a big IP. Maybe you do a small subsections, right? Like if I were them, I would do this, and then you would also have like maybe a small Legends of Zelda section, and then maybe hey Tyler, we're just talking about what we would do in the LA Super Mario World, and I know it's in Anaheim, but it's LA, okay? It's all LA. It's all LA now. And Parker's gonna get offended because he's out there. So no, but I think that you do something similar, and then you do a small, maybe Legend of Zelda, but I would do a Pokemon thing. I would not miss out. Something Pokemon. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe you do like but I know actually they do have in this park, they have no, it's not. I'm sorry. I saw an idea. There's like an idea page or something. It's like a one second. Aha, we're back.
Oh, no, you're not.
Are we back? There we go. Cool. All right. Sorry guys. While I got disconnected, Iger called me and he said I can't bash Disney anymore. So we're gonna Disney World.
It's not even Iger.
Yeah, I know, but he's still kind of running the show there, and he's got a little more free time on his hands ever since retiring. So he was the one that made the call. I can't talk anymore about how bad Disney World. No, I'm kidding. Disney World's incredible.
I can.
So,
Look, I can talk all night. All right.
I know. You know how like Disney has their hub and spoke mentality, right? That was like the big claim to fame about their park design, is they have the center point, right, of the park, and then you go out and you have all of the different sections of the park. Now they can't do exactly what that is. Yeah, we were getting held at gunpoint by a giant humanoid mouse type cheese. But basically, what like I think they could do. I was gonna say they should do Peach's Castle in the center, but that's totally like there's no way they don't get in trouble for that. So you don't just copying the total Cinderella's castle and then you put Peach's Castle in the center. But no, like I think you have a golden opportunity to like build out a Mario section, the Super Mario World, right? and then you follow and you kind of mimic what you have here. You do a kind of a cool rendition of what's there, but then you also do a Legends of Zelda section, and just kind of have you could have like Hyrule Temple there and all this stuff. And then I do think you do a Super Smash thing there. I think it would be a lost opportunity not to do something Smash related. The question is, what do you do though? I would say maybe the best opportunity would be like some sort of like Master Hand type thing where like it's a ride where you're fighting Master Hand, or maybe it's like it's like the ride in Hogwarts where you're like flying through it and you like fly through different matches, and like I don't know how you would go about doing that, but you could do a lot with that. Man, I lost a bunch of people in that transition there. Sorry guys, with that disconnection. But I'm just happy Disney Paris is getting a globe with Galaxy's Edge, Avengers Campus, and Frozen Land. Oh yeah, dude, they're gonna get some hype stuff.
Yeah, Disneyland Paris, they're actually paying attention to it.
Yeah, again. Finally.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Back when they called it, they opened with Disneyland, Money Disney.
if any of you guys out there are ever curious about like Disney and how they used to operate way back when they're just opening up all these parks, I highly recommend. There's a documentary on Disney Plus if you have it, all about Imagineering.
Oh, it was incredible.
It's this fantastic documentary showing how they all prepared for everything, how for like 5 years in a row they would fire 150 Imagineers at Christmas or something like that because they had to. They go really into the gritty of like how bad most of these parks went. And how they're now like scrambling to fix them. So it's really worth a watch if you haven't yet.
Yeah, it's kind of
yes, Disneyland Shanghai is not the prettiest looking gal in town.
Yeah. Wait, Shanghai Disney's not nice looking?
It's okay. I like their castle because, it's a very more feudal Chinese, Japanese looking tower structure. And they have a cool ride that takes you through like this water pirates themed area, which I think was a pretty cool concept of idea, but the rest of it's kind of mediocre.
It's kind of hard to like copy and paste what you're doing. And that's a big conversation to have when we're talking about this, because opening a second park is a major risk, especially entering a new market. Now, Japan, like Nintendo is very familiar with the American market, but still, like, the culture is totally different and our expectations are different. I think LA, more than Orlando, is a lot more open for like a copy and paste method, because like Japan, Tokyo and Los Angeles have a lot of, as much as they are very different and distinctly different, in terms of like I think that in terms of like their media and things like that, there's going to be a lot more receptive. LA is going to have a lot more better reception to if you were to copy what you have there and put it in a Los Angeles. Like I don't think you'd get a lot of problems with that. However, Orlando, you have to look at it totally differently. I think you make what we have here in this Super Mario world, you spread that out, like you said, and put that stuff along a little bit bigger space, make it a little bit larger scale, make the rides a little bit bigger. And then, but then I think you focus heavy on that Pokemon spot. And I honestly think you could do a lot of really cool things with it. I think it'd be really cool if you could expand your Pokemon Go to connect with that section of the park in some really cool way.
You can, for the most part, even now.
Yeah.
So if people haven't been to any Disney park or Universal park in a long time, Pokemon Go, like, massive presence there.
Yeah.
I still see people sometimes in the park
Tyler,
with their phone chargers still on, like the battery packs just still going, walking around with like two phones in their hand, catch a Pokemon, because there's maybe 20 some odd stops and like maybe 5 or 6 gyms in every single park, let alone the hotels have 5 each. Like they're so heavy in Pokemon Go right now. Like it's such a popular area.
Okay.
So
I have a thought on that. Tyler, first of all, thank you so much for the 50 bits. Seriously, I appreciate it. And you're taking out Mike, man. He's on his way down. And but I have a great idea for that. Do the gyms still work? I haven't played Pokemon Go in forever. Does it still work where you all are like attacking the boss at the same time or something like that?
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't played Pokemon Go in
I
a
forget.
long time.
If anyone
either.
can let me know
Yeah.
how the boss battles work, because here's what I think would be absolutely incredible to see in the Pokemon section of this with Pokemon Go. Imagine, okay? Imagine you see part of the Pokemon section is a gym. It literally looks like a big stadium. Okay, obviously it'd be scaled down, but it looks like a big stadium on the outside of it. Okay, and you enter into it, and there's fake crowd, like a fake stadium, like audience to it, but you just walk into the center of it. In the center of it are these a couple different rings of like podiums, almost like podiums that are around this big like screen, this big screen like projector type thing. Okay, so you have a bunch of different like mini rings inside of it, and what you do is you go into these stadiums, and when you go, and each of those different rings is a different gym. Okay, and it like an actual Pokemon Go or Pokemon Go gym or whatever, right? Like one of the ones that you do your raids on. And you go there and you can you go to one of these podiums and you sync up with it to take on the current gym leader. And by going to take him on, it puts your Pokemon in the ring, in like the projector screen of the ring. And you actually watch the fight go down on the screen in front of you instead of on your phone. And like the whole thing. And so like anyone shows up and they throw their Pokemon in the ring, and you actually see the battle happening on the ring. Now it probably like the screen would show it on your phone, except it's like on a big projector and like in this big arena. And so it feels super epic because you're like, I'm going to a Pokemon stadium and taking on the gym leader. And it's like just this epic, like, oh, I've been waiting for this. Now I could like imagine people playing Pokemon Go for like the year, getting ready to do these like raids at Nintendo World. Like, I feel like it would be this big thing.
I would love to see something like that, truly. Like, as a Pokemon fan and a Pokemon nerd myself, like, that'd be something that'd be sick. You just have to think of, like, are people going to be willing to do that? You know? Like, with stuff like this, like, when the creators and the people that imagine these rides and stuff, they have to think to themselves and look at it being like, would people show up to this?
That's
so
true.
If you're asking,
because it would be contingent on Pokemon Go, right? So like,
yeah. So you're basically asking people like, not only you have to download the Universal app, you have to download this new Super Nintendo World app, but they're also expecting you to go and do a Pokemon Go app as well, just to show up to a park and ride some rides. You know, like. So it's
okay. So I have a counter argument.
See that
counter thought to it. So how about there are so it has those arenas, right? There are sections of arenas that are there's like maybe a couple podiums that are dedicated to that, but there's also, and they would look different and they'd be notably a different thing, right? But then there would be also sections in the arena where you can go up to it and there's like a screen and you select your team instead. So you select your team and then you throw them in a Pokemon battle. Like there could be like little like, so that you don't have to have a Pokemon Go set. Like it doesn't have to be a Pokemon Go. It's like an actual, just like you create a team of 6 Pokemon, you throw them in a ring and put them in this fight. Like you could make other ways to make it interesting, right? And like have it this really cool, like I'm doing a Pokemon battle in a stadium. Tyler the Kid really quick said, Disney would have done it better. They would have had real genetically enhanced modified Pokemon for you to fight in real life. And with your fists too. You have to fight them with your fists.
They would have Jurassic Park the absolute hell out of Pokemon.
That's what we want like, too.
You have little Pikachu raptors running around the place.
Oh my gosh. My real dream. No legal issues at all. Yep. Yeah.
But I hear you on that. So honestly, if you take the concept that you're talking about and you apply it to like what are the Pokemon properties that they do have, so a stadium, a coliseum. Actually, I think what would work best for a little Pokemon area and a park like this is a battle frontier that they have had in past games and stuff. It was very prominent in Emerald, I believe, and then They also did it in two of the other games, I think. But they had a Battle Frontier kind of esque thing where you had those rental Pokemon that you were talking about that you show up, you have your own battles and such. I love this idea that Mr. Auditor said. Can I make my own Squirtle squad that follows me around the park?
Uh,
Dude, that'd be awesome.
that'd be cool if you connected it to Pokemon Go like that, or like the Universal app, so that like it's just a side thing where if you look on your camera, anyone that has their Pokemon following them in the app, you would see them walking behind the people in real life. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Oh, yeah, I think that'd be, again, great concepts. You just have
Yeah.
to look at the realism of them,
Yes,
and
for sure.
yes, like if we look at this image right here of Super Nintendo World, right? Like what they've actually done is just create their own pocket of the games and pull them out. So like this is pretty much the extent of what they can do. So like I'm not sure if everyone's ready for like a VR, Pokemon Stadium kind of battle. I know I personally am, but not everyone else will probably be. To Swanton Bomb a Machamp.
I'd happily sign my soul away to Swanton Bomb a Machamp, dude. Give me it. Machamp. Machamp. That's my bad, a typo. Parker's got an idea, but yeah, you're right. It does come down to practicality. I think they have the technology to do the whole like geolocating other people with it and like do that, but there might be some other legal like permissions stuff they have to figure out. But Burke knows what a Swanton Bomb is. Of course I do, man. I was a WWE guy back in the day. I almost just choked on a chicken tender laughing.
That's what he did to his wife on their wedding night.
Oh my god! How about you can catch the Pokemon mascots with people in there, and they have to follow you around all day?
Jesus!
Oh my god, these poor
now you're
mascots.
onto something.
Jeff Hardy's my favorite wrestler. Yeah, man. Just don't break your.
No, I genuinely like going back. I love the idea and concept of like a Pokemon land and a Pokemon area to this. But we also, again, I'm going to go back to this image for like size wise of like what it would actually look like and such.
Right.
I'm sorry that I keep looking over, by the way. My other screen.
Oh,
is
you're
right
fine.
here,
You're fine.
my camera's right here.
All good. All
sorry.
good.
But if we look at it, like you see this whole corner and stuff, but like that's it. This is the park, like this is the whole little land that is there. Like this is probably the size of maybe a football stadium. Like,
right.
This is it. Like this is how much space they have to work with. The other parks have, Disney World itself is practically its own city at this point. Like,
and to your point, you're saying like their actual park size is pretty small.
Yeah, but, size like this is like it's not an easy thing to work around and work with. Like if you look at Galaxy's Edge, for example, that is literally just like a cut around of like an area, and you can see the back of it on like the highway going behind it. So like it kind of sometimes could take you out of the immersion because they have the spires in Galaxy's Edge, which is the whole point of the backstory and lore of the planet that you're on for Batu. Excuse me, but like on the other side of that building, if you're on the road right there, you could see it, and all it is just a bunch of sticks with cones sticking out of the ground. Like, so again, it you really have to take it into consideration, like size of what they can do. They can find a way to like shorten stuff. Like if going back to that whole VR idea, that would work amazing, right? That'd be great. So many people would love it. If they could do that and just have like a small little box, and that's an entire ride and attraction right there for them, like. So it's kind of hard to say and see what they would do with a Pokemon Land. I honestly think it's probably way past overdue to get one. But still, I definitely love the idea of it, and that is definitely something I would love to see in an Orlando park for Super Nintendo World.
Oh my God, some hilarious things. If we're allowed to choke slam Eevee, I hope don't let Ezra Miller into the park. Sorry, that was a deep cut to Ezra Miller, the Flash, doing some interesting things in Iceland. I like that. And then large Italian man smashes them with the large wind hammer. Oh my God. Okay, I have some other cool park ride ideas. One is a Donkey Kong river ride. And it's you each get in individual. There's like two-seater barrels, and they're like, it's like a log flume type ride, but the barrels are like these massive barrels with 2 seats in them. and you just go down and it looks like you're going down the river. It'd be on a track, but it would look like you're going down the river. It'd be like up and down. You get splashed. Be kind of like a river rapid ride, but it's on a track. I think that'd be really cool. And then also I would like to see. I had a thought, and hopefully I probably lost it. Oh, I saw this on that thing I was telling you about ride ideas. There's one for they have a ride idea for the plane company in Animal Crossing. You know, in the most recent Animal Crossing game. To get between place to place, they have this seaplane. They have a seaplane.
Right. Yes.
And
yeah.
basically, the
dodo birds traveling plane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And they have a design. I don't know if this is the actual company or not, but considering the rendering of the actual footage that I saw, it looked pretty legit. Basically, it's hooked to a track, so you have the plane, right? And you have the seat. It's the seats in the front, inside of the seaplane. So the ride is actually the seaplane. And I think it's just like 4 seats on a wide ramp. And basically, it's the plane is attached to a rod that goes backward and then down, and then the thing under it closes up. And basically, so the way it's set up, you actually can't see anything that the plane is mounted to, and the plane, because of what it's attached to, is allowed to tilt forward, side, back. It basically can free rotate like this. And it moves, and it's attached to a cart that moves along a track. So it's moving forward along the track while also able to pivot left, right, up, and down. And basically all of those motions mimic the feeling of flight. And then it basically takes you through this track, and it's projections all around you. And basically it's a free roaming flight ride. It's not free roaming in the sense that you have control over it, but free roaming in the sense that like it's feeling like it's in flight. And you basically, the ride is you flying through like the Animal Crossing worlds. And it's kind of like, cool. If you've ever seen the Pilot Wings level in Smash, or the Wii Sports one or whatever, or the Wii Island or whatever, it would look like that basically, where the plane is flying through the sky and you're flying through these beautiful landscapes. It would look super duper cool, I think. What did you say? And don't forget the Church of Kirby, which is mandatory for all park visitors to attend. All must bow to Kirby. Oh, that would be cool though, just seeing a star ride.
Kirby. Yeah, that'd be a great property to do. Because many people, when they think of Kirby, they think, oh, suck moe, little suck man.
Little suck man.
Yep. All the powers. But like when I think of Kirby, like I think of like the old GameCube games, like Kirby Air Ride and stuff. And if they could get like a game based, like a ride based on something like that, that'd be, I think, fantastic.
Yep. Stormbreaker just said a real life Wii Sports Resort Hotel. That sounds incredible. Really quick, last couple thoughts on resort and spa. It would have to be a spa. There's no way you don't make it a spa. And
you have like the mirror Wii Fit trainer,
Yes, and everyone is painted pale, and and they wear blank clothes. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be terrifying. Everyone's named Linda because that was my Smash character's name. Okay, so do you have any other ride ideas? And then I think, and then I have some questions for other stuff.
Honestly, for an area like that, it's kind of hard to like think of ride ideas, mainly because it's creating rides. I feel like is so like complex and intricate.
It really is.
You have to really make sure that you're doing a good job to like honor and do everything right with said ride, and like with the property that you're given.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough, but if they had, honestly, I'm not sure about ride, but if they had a little attraction and it was just Nintendogs.
Oh, yes. Just an actual dogs.
Yeah, it's just a dog.
It's just a dog, like kennel.
Just a dog named Nintendo. No, it's if they had an actual like ride, or not a ride, like a little like, I don't know, interactive panel or something like that with little like Nintendo puppies running around.
Oh,
like
that would be cool.
Like EJ Rich here just said, like a dog cafe. Like,
yeah.
Something like that would probably be a cute cool little thing. And
yeah. Skylanders. Nintendo Aquino, what's up, man? I have another idea for an interactive event place, okay? It's in you enter the Animal Crossing section of the park, okay? As soon as you enter, you scan your app, which is linked to your bank account. As soon as you enter, they give you a house in the park, and you are entered with $400,000 in debt, and then you have to work in the park off the debt until the raccoon man lets you leave.
All right.
He gives you actual real life debt.
What if you take that? What if you take it, but you twist it and make it like an escape room kind of thing?
Oh my goodness, that's actually fantastic.
Yeah. So like you have to go around, craft different items or something like that, pick up off the ground to like sell off.
That would actually be kind of
more
cool.
items have more value to it.
You have to pick up trash in the park. They don't have to hire any employees because what is his name? Why am I blanking on the raccoon's name? Nook the Crook. Nook. You have Tom Nook. You have him put you in debt, and then you have to work at the park to get out of the debt. That's how they get they have no paid employees. They just have everyone in debt. That's how you work it off. Okay. So joking aside, last thing on the Nintendo parks, and then we'll move on to some of the Marvel and Star Wars talk for their parks. Okay. And if you guys have any other last minute ideas for that stuff, indentured servitude for sure. And then what would if you had to do resorts or companion resorts or hotels, what are some of your ideas for that? I have one off the top of my head, and this is legitimate this time. Animal Crossing Village, and it's actually like a cool little like village, and you get your own cabin. I think that'd be a really neat thing.
That's a solid idea.
It could even be like, you know how they have the Camp Wilderness or whatever for Disney. I would like to see like a park. It could be a campground too. That is just like it's a Animal Crossing themed campground, and it's just really well maintained and stuff. Like you could do that too. Tyler, thank you for the 40 bits. Right. Man, seriously.
I kind of like that idea. I don't know. I was thinking they could do like a Delfino Plaza kind of resort.
Oh, that would be really cool. Like have shops and
yeah, a little Super Mario Sunshine action. To have that walking around, or
that would be incredible. What are some other good ones? I love the Wii Sports Resort. That's a really, really good one.
That'd be good. Not a Belle Delphine Plaza. Absolutely not. You just get very off feeling bathwater the entire time.
What else? I'm trying to think of like, what is a good thing for like, is there even a good like Pokemon one?
I mean, I'm sure, it depends on like the property, like and what like a game they could pull it from, because they have so many little ones they could do.
Thanks for the 100 and a bunch of ones bits. Seriously, Stormy, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Another 100 bits. What are you doing, Stormy? Stormy's now the stream boss. Everyone bow down to Stormy. Stormy, thank you so much, man, for that. I really appreciate it. Seriously. It's 200 and something, man. Thank you so much. Okay, what was I saying? Stormy just interrupted me with all of his bits. Stormy, thank you for the 29 bits. You need to cut it out, Stormy. You're going broke. I really appreciate you, man. Seriously. Thank you. Anyone have any ideas for some resorts? I'm trying to think of some cool ones. I mean, I'm thinking like a Bowser's Castle could be a cool resort to do, but if they're gonna put it in the park, then you don't want to double dip.
They're not gonna double tap it.
You could do Peach's Castle then if you're not gonna put it in the resort. You could make a Peach's Castle resort. Again, I don't know how nice that how really worthwhile. Like if I had to choose between a bunch of other ones, I don't know that I would choose that as a place to stay as a hotel. Unless you made it like the really fancy one. I don't know. What other ideas? I'm trying to think of Nintendo IP. You could make like a Donkey Kong Country type thing might be neat.
Yeah.
Make it kind of like a what's it called? The Animal Kingdom one, the Animal Kingdom Resort, kind of like a jungle design. That would be kind of neat. You can make it look like they're like tree cabins or something like that, like treehouse cabins. That could be really neat. King Dedede Castle. You could make, man, what else? Why am I blanking on Nintendo IP? Nintendo IP. I got this. Also, I feel like you do a F-Zero ride or F-Zero goat carts or something like that.
If probably an F-Zero like ride or something like that. Yeah, like the go karts. But I think if they're gonna go karts. You're just gonna stick with Mario Kart.
Yeah, I think so. The thing is, like, there's a lot of Nintendo IP, but I think the notable stuff is like you go with Pokemon and you go with like Mario, like
Zelda,
and
yeah.
Zelda. Like, if you make like a Fire Emblem like hotel, no one's gonna go there. Like, no one's gonna Splatoon
Nobody's
Water
gonna want
Park.
Fire
A
Emblem, man, which
Splatoon
is a
Water
shame.
Park would be cool. I love Fire Emblem. It's one of my favorite games. Actually.
I agree. I think
Um,
fantastic games, but they would never do
yeah,
anything like that with their
yeah.
property.
Donkey Kong, Star Fox, but you're not going to make a
That'd be a good one.
hotel. You're not. I don't think you're going to make a hotel Star Fox, are you? Unless it's
Um,
like,
you can make one themed on the inside of like the Cornelia.
yeah,
Ooh.
it's like the problem is like Star Fox, Metroid, and like F-Zero, like those IP are like strong, but they're not strong enough
Hold their own weight.
to hold their own weight. Yeah, in terms of like getting people to come and stay at a hotel of it. Pokemon has that clout. You could separate DK. You could definitely get away with Animal Crossing, and you could definitely get away with anything Mario and Pokemon. But like, I don't think you're going to be able to. Kirby might be able to do it, like a Dreamland hotel or a Dreamland resort.
Yeah, that might be able to hold its own.
But it might be too gimmicky. Like, some of them might be way too gimmicky to get enough people in.
I don't know. I think they could.
Oh,
I
do
think
they own
really
Sega
a
now?
good.
Forget.
I'm not sure if that's factual or not. If they own Sega or not,
Yeah.
because Sega's still doing their own anniversaries, and they haven't done the full meld. If that's the true.
Mhm.
No, not Pokemon Plaza.
Pokimane. My goodness, Pokimane Plaza. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but there's a lot of potential for a Star Fox game. You could make a pretty dope Star Fox game. You could, or I mean,
Yeah, you
ride.
can make a good Star Fox ride for sure.
It'd be, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a lot of potential for the parks for sure. If you guys have any other ideas, drop them in. Do you have anything else, or we can move on to the Marvel and Star Wars stuff?
I do not have anything else for this. I'm gonna say a Rob Hotel where they're all staffs are just Robs.
Oh my gosh, and you're getting robbed. No,
Yeah.
but no, I think there's a lot of cool stuff they could do. I'm really excited to see what they bring to it. We're gonna jump now into some discussion on the Avengers campuses and what they could do with future Marvel parks, and then also the Star Wars parks, which actually Star Wars Santa talked a little bit about today. If you guys are familiar with Star Wars Santa, if you haven't, check him out on YouTube. But he was talking about the apparently they are retconning. Or I've heard that they're thinking about retconning Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as being part of the canonical Star Wars universe.
Yes.
Have you heard about that?
Yes. So that has been coming from the fact that they're going to be trying to take the sequel characters out of Galaxy's Edge and replace them with characters from The Mandalorian.
Right. Which we kind of had to expect, right? Because like, how are you not going to put the Mandalorian characters in there?
I honestly think easily, like, you can walk around Disney Springs right now and like they have like 2 Star Wars stores there, and all of their products are just the child. It's just
Right.
Grogu, like, or spoilers,
Yeah.
I guess, for season 2 if you haven't watched it yet. But it's the child, and it's like Mandalorian gear. Like
True.
it's already been weeding out the sequel characters, but I don't think they should.
Right.
Like, just for the sake of having it already like being canon and just like having it exist, that's fine, whatever. Just keep
Right.
the sequel characters there. I get that they want to have the Mandalorian characters in there, but I just think it's a bad move from their part.
Yeah, I honestly, in my opinion, I think it was a mistake to say that it was part of the canon anyway from the start. In my opinion, I think they should have just not done that, because they had to have known that future Star Wars stuff is going to come out down the road, and like they had to have known that they were obviously going to put new stuff in there, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
so like, why even say that it's canonically part of that universe when you know down the road you're going to want to put new merch and new characters in there?
Yeah, it's really kind of bizarre how they're doing it, especially because looking back at it to when The Rise of Skywalker was coming out, and what that area looked like then, that's all you could see was just
Right.
like, oh, Chewbacca's walking around, Ray was walking around, like they had Captain Phasma doing their own thing. Like,
Right.
Um, I think there's this little section in Hollywood Studios for Star Wars that's not Galaxy's Edge. It's on the other side of the park.
Okay.
And that's where they normally do their meet and greets. They normally have like a BB-8 meet and greet. I think they have an R2C3PO. They have a Chewbacca one.
Right.
Sometimes it's either a Kylo Ren or a Darth Vader one. But they do their meet and greets there. If you did like a Mandalorian and Grogu one there,
Mm-hmm.
that looks so much better than having just throwing them back into Galaxy's Edge and like recycling all of them and such. And just being like, no, this isn't canon anymore. We were just kidding. Uh, so I think if they use that other spot properly and just direct
Okay.
everyone over there, then that'd be a lot better.
That's a good point. And do you think, I guess kind of leads to the next thing, do you think that they are going to expand the Star Wars parks? And do you think, Star Wars section of the park? And do you think that they should expand the Star Wars section of the park?
Well, yes, I 100% do. I personally, I love Galaxy's Edge. I've been there a few times. I think it's amazing. You know, I did the whole waste quite a lot of money on a lightsaber thing. But I think that they are going to expand on it, especially because they announced 9 new properties for it. So one of those are going to stick, and they're going to get their own little section, their space in Galaxy's Edge. Do not be surprised in the next 2 to 3 years if you hear or see something about a small little like Ahsoka Tano attraction or something like that. Like,
have you heard rumors down the? Do you have any connections to this type of stuff? Do you get like rumors? I'm sure that do things spread in the community? Like, because you work with a ton of people that work in the parks. So how does that work?
Things spread pretty quick. Most of the time we can't talk about a lot, like especially on live streams like this.
We won't tell.
Say right,
never.
People like we talk to each other because we already know the drill and we know the rules.
You guys have an NDA shared, probably, right?
Pretty much, yeah. But stuff like this. So my girlfriend actually works on the Rise of the Resistance ride, the brand new one that came out, like the brand new one. It's one of the most advanced ride yet. It's such an amazing ride. If you guys go down there, that is worth the like.
Which ride was that again?
Hackathon, Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, okay, yeah. I haven't ridden that one yet.
Yeah, that ride is.
Does it beat the Avatar ride
again? Huh?
Does it beat the Avatar ride? Because that ride changed my life. In Animal Kingdom?
That's tough. In my own opinion, I think yes. Like I almost shed a tear on the Rise of Resistance ride.
Really?
Yes, it was so nice. My girlfriend works on that ride and stuff. And for those of you, the next time if you get a chance to go to Disney, if you go to Universal, not Universal, if you go to Disneyland or Disney World, either one, I 100% recommend. This ride is worth waking up at the ass crack of dawn just to be in the park, just to get in the line, because it's like 10 minutes of Star Wars heaven, pretty much.
That's
that makes
awesome.
you genuinely feel like you are in the entire thing and like in the universe.
Okay, that's worth it. Yeah,
absolutely, 100% it is,
dude. Okay, I didn't know it was that good.
On it. Oh, it's such an amazing ride. You're basically. I'm not going to spoil too much, but you just know at one point you get onto a first order like Star Cruiser and stuff, and from there it just is mind-boggling how amazing all the details are.
I'll have to check that out. Hey, Mike, thank you so much for the 10 bits, and I'm glad you're here, man. I just clipped out your section of the New Year's stream. I just I made it into a highlight. It will be put up this week, I promise. There's some, I'll talk about that once we're kind of done with the conversation, and I'll do some quick stuff about that and some other things. But I'm glad you're here, man. And I'll talk about that later. But yeah, it looks incredible. I haven't been able to get there. I was down in Disney, and I missed you because we barely left the hotel.
Nah, because you hate me. It's all right.
Yeah, I know. I was dodging you actually. No, we went to downtown Disney, I think 3 times, but they were for like very short times each, and that was the only things we did. We didn't go to the parks or anything like that. We barely ate out. It was very like we were very reserved in what we did while we were there. Tim, what's up, man? Glad you're here, man. But yeah, it's I would really like do they have the real estate? this is another question, but I think they would.
Mhm.
They really should expand what the Star Wars influence on their parks. Like, it feels like they should be doubling down on the amount of Star Wars they're putting in their parks and building more sections, not just expanding Galaxy's Edge, but like looking into building a larger section or somewhere else, another section of Star Wars parts of their parks to build another RP. Why couldn't they build a Star Wars land or like a section of like a different? Is it a real estate issue? Do you think it's like they just don't see a reason for it? Like, what do you think is the thing?
So this is what I was trying to describe earlier. If you guys see in this image that he has pulled up here for Galaxy's Edge, this like still frame, if you see these little like rock formations in the back, there is a road about 30 feet behind.
It's like a highway, right? Or something like right
Yeah,
there.
it's like it cuts right there. So like you could see the entire back of Galaxy's Edge. You could see the new hotel that they're building right there for Star Wars, the Galactic Cruiser. So they're trying to, but stuff like this definitely could take time, and real estate is absolutely a big issue for them right now. If they wanted to do more with Galaxy's Edge, they would have to like completely push out most of where their employees go and meet and park and such, because that's on the other side of that.
Right.
So it would be very difficult for them just to like, go balls deep and just throw all their eggs in this basket. Which is why I think they're kind of playing it smart. They're just like, we'll do Galaxy's Edge. They did the later release on the second ride for Galaxy's Edge.
Right.
And now they're going to do the hotel when that comes out.
Yes. And I did want to say it. Maybe I should pull up a picture of that.
Oh, yeah. Pull up the interior pictures of them,
I guess I could just screen share and Google image it. So yeah, that's another thing we haven't really talked about much, but Star Wars is also building their Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. Is that what it's called? Am I right about that?
Yes.
So that is coming to Disney World, and it is going to be absolutely bonkers based on what it looks like. Let me see if I can. Is this the right window capture? We will see. Which one was it? It was that one. Okay. So this is what it looks like right now. Let me make this a little bit bigger. But it is big. That's like the outs. That's not what it actually. Obviously, that's in space and not.
No, that's what they want.
But that's what they want you to think it looks like. And like this is some of the. Do we have designs? Like it's not being built yet, right? Like when is it supposed to be?
No,
done?
it is. It is already up.
It's already done.
I mean, like it's not done completely, but like the entire hotel, like the frame and the structure of the thing.
Oh yeah, this is an actual image of inside the hotel right here.
No, that's the image of inside the Millennium Falcon.
I'm all confused and turned around. Thank you for knowing.
Okay,
that.
you see the beds, the photo to your
This
left?
is a hotel room.
No, that's the hotel room.
Yeah.
So they have the two little pods for the kids, and then you have your own.
What?
So you go in there, you
That's
actually. So this hotel is going to be so much more different and unique compared to all of the other hotels that Disney has and owns. Mainly because when you're at this hotel, they want you to consider that hotel really the only thing you're there for.
Wow.
So it's the Galactic Cruiser. So the whole theme of it is that you're on basically a galactic cruise ship.
Oh my gosh.
That is going through the galaxy, right? And so what it does is that it'll park, keyword there, quote unquote, air quotes, park.
Yeah.
So it'll park at Batu so that you come out in Galaxy's Edge and you get to go to Hollywood Studios.
Oh my goodness.
But a majority of it, because that hotel is directly behind Hollywood Studios and Galaxy's Edge, just so they can get that entrance in. But yeah, they really want you to be on this, like in the hotel pretty much the entire stay. So if you're gonna do it,
my goodness,
it's probably like a 3-day experience. Don't book a week in that hotel.
You basically just go for that on a side note. Mike says sends 300 bits. Seriously, thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do, and this is a great stream and guest. Yeah, ooh. Patty is awesome. And by the way, it sounds like Patty's got some sources. So listen, if I ever say I have a source, it is definitely not Patty. So I don't know where you get that idea from. If I somehow know something that's coming to the park, if I somehow know something's coming to the parks, and I give you some inside scoop, it's definitely not Patty. So don't suspect him or tell his boss.
Yeah,
Mike,
don't call my
seriously, thank you
job.
so much for the 300 bits.
But
They give you a utility closet like Roku stays in for your kids. I like
It-
it. Can you just close them up and lock them in those little pods?
I hope so, man.
Take a
What's
lot of
called?
side jobs. It's super pricey. I bet, man.
So
That's
you see this
crazy.
image that you're actually holding over, or hovering over with your mouse right now? That
Uh,
one,
this one.
bars.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So if you click on that,
The link.
what that shows, you don't have to. No, no, Lord knows what that link is.
Okay, I didn't want to click on the link.
Yeah, don't click on the link. Don't click on the link. But
Oh my
what
goodness.
you're looking at is pretty much that is their lobby. So that's where you're gonna go and check in, like you would at like what you call it, at a cruise ship, right? Like because they have an exterior check-in for cruise ships to sign you in and stuff, and you're gonna get a galactic passport. So they're gonna give you everything. You're gonna basically take a shuttle to get transported onto the ship, which is you're gonna take pretty much an underground tunnel or something like that to the hotel. That'll get you there. So it's they just want immersion out of this.
Right.
Your closet is stacked up, is going to be filled with Star Wars clothes and attire, or Star Wars themed clothes to wear while you're there.
Dude, that's so
to really
cool.
make you feel like you're a part of the story.
That is something. Alyssa, he has worked previously with at Disney parks, and now he works with Universal Hotels, right? Is that did I sum that up right? Yeah. Okay, I just found the website. I forgot I tabbed this open. The Holycon, how do you pronounce it? Halcyon? I don't know.
Halcyon?
Halcyon, yeah.
I think.
Launch pod docks with glamorous star cruiser known for exotic expeditions in a galaxy far away. Arrive at the terminal, enter a launch pod, and blast off into space and rendezvous with the Halcyon. And then you got the atrium, which is like the heart and where the crew and passengers gather. So there's probably gonna be a bunch of different interactive things there. There's the navigation and defense system. It's gonna be a whole thing in yourself. It really is. That is crazy.
So
yeah, that is bonkers.
Those navigation and defense systems are like games and stuff and things that you can do while you're there. Now, don't nobody hold me to this, but there is a rumor that I will say for this that I think is honestly such a cool and unique feature.
Okay.
It is bounty hunting.
What?
So what happens is like the employees and stuff or other people can put an actual like quote unquote bounty on you. So they have bounty hunters that are walk around and scan you. I think in the atrium it shows like one of the bounty hunting droids.
Okay.
But basically they'll come up to you and talk to you and like interact with you and such. So it's this really weird and unique feature that I'm so excited to see what they do with it. But I don't know. I'm so excited for this and this entire thing.
Yeah.
I believe it comes out in December
it looks
of this
incredible. Yeah, I mean, it looks incredible.
Or next year or something like that.
And it's
but
a 2 night all immersive adventure. Yeah, so there literally is like so much
again,
you can do.
You're there to stay there. Like that's
Yeah.
what they want you to do. You're not there for the parks. You were there for the little cruise. You know.
That is so cool. Yeah, I knew. I didn't know very much about that, but this is awesome. That like seriously cool. And I think you're right. Like, so I guess to kind of like wrap up some Star Wars, we'll move into the Marvel stuff. What are your thoughts in like what should they do if they're looking to expand Star Wars in the future on their Disney properties? Do you think like is there real estate in other parks or just in the land they own that they could build other sections or more Star Wars stuff in the future, or you think they're pretty restricted?
I think they have plenty of space. They honestly do. What they have is like this massive amount of land that's just nothing but like swamp and moss and such. Like they have room for another maybe 2 parks there to open up.
Dang. Do you think that they could? Do you think they could just do like take some of their biggest like movie and TV IP and just like build a new park based around that stuff and like really just invest? Because right now all of their parks are getting like reinvigorated with some of that new content, but like they're taking it and scattering it across, which is a good use because it keeps bringing people to the other parks that could get old if they keep just recycling IP. But do you think
a great example of that I was going to say is Epcot. So Epcot is going through an entire like reimagined in their front
Right.
portion of the area, so it does not look anything like it used to
Because it
anymore.
used to be like Future World, and it's like, well, now all the stuff that was futuristic is like already here. Like,
It's outdated, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but no, they're
God,
completely
Mr. Otter,
updating it. I
stop.
believe they're adding. Hang on, I have my own link for this one.
That's so bad.
But Epcot is getting its own another 3 rides. I think it's getting the Ratatouille ride. It's getting a
sick.
Moana ride. It's getting the new Guardians coaster, which is supposed to be, you know, it's the largest indoor roller coaster in the world.
Which it looks huge. It looks massive.
Yes, it's this massive brick that's there.
Yep.
There's gonna be a play pavilion apparently. That's going to replace the Wonders of Life, and it's going to be it's basically like a little playground and such.
Right.
One of the cooler things is actually a restaurant that they're opening. It's called Space 220, I think. Space 220. It's a space themed restaurant.
Oh, really?
Yes. So basically, the entire time your view is like the Earth from far away.
Is it?
Oh, but no,
dude, it sounds like it's incredible, like what they're trying to do. Also, yeah, this is. I try to pull it up, see if I can show a good size of what it is. But essentially,
these.
Oh, Mike, thanks for the. I don't know how many bits, but thank you so much, man. Seriously, the flat Earth, correct? Yes, the flat Earth. There was. Yeah. I used to be able to see. There was somewhere where you could see a design of the inside, but this is what the carts are supposed to look like. It's gonna look incredible. It's massive. It's kind of hard to show you the scale.
Yes.
There's the Epcot globe. Here you go.
Big.
If you've ever been to Epcot, you know how big that globe is. It is larger than the globe, and that globe is massive. So
that box
that
right
gives
there
you some context. But it looks dope. This comes to the next thing. So and get into they're revamping it. I think it'd be cool to do like go into space and like make a space themed park. Like make a whole park based on space. I think that'd be kind of cool to do something like that, because then you could implement more Guardian stuff. You could implement, you could make a world with like Thor, or which actually we're gonna get to. Actually, they probably can't do that, but we'll get to that in a second. And but then you could do Star Wars and like make a huge Star Wars section. But I don't know. You could do a lot of different unique things with new parks that I think they could really explore. Let's move into, don't they have a culture section? Yeah, so there's the around the world, and that's my favorite thing to do in any of the parks. And actually, my wife and I did it the first, when we went there, I want to say it was 2 years, almost, I don't even know how long it was, a year and a half, 2 years ago. We went there, and we went drinking around the world, and it's where you get
it's an amazing time.
Yeah, you go drink, you get a drink at each country, and it's like 13 or 14 countries or like locations around the world. It's a lot of fun. Some people do it with a group of friends and get team shirts, and it's a lot. That's a kind of crazy experience, but I haven't done that. But me and my wife did it. We just couldn't afford it, so we didn't go. We split some drinks in some places to make it affordable. But it was a lot of fun, and yes, by the end it was definitely an interesting. I got in an interesting place by the 14th place. We tried to take a picture with different hats on in each place too, and that got progressively worse.
Very sloppy.
Yes. But anyway, it's they have a lot of potential in what they can do. Let's talk a little bit about the Marvel stuff. So caveat, and we're gonna have to break down the bad news of this first. So Marvel, when back in the day, Marvel, we all know Marvel sold off a lot of their movie properties and have been spending a lot of time getting those movie rights back. Well, when they sold a lot of those properties out, one of the other things they sold the rights to was Marvel rights for theme parks, particularly east of the Mississippi River and to Universal. So Universal, for a long time, if you've been to a Universal Studios in Orlando, you'll notice there's a Doctor Doom free-for-all ride. There is a Hulk roller coaster, a Spider-Man interactive thing. They have Marvel characters used in a lot of their stuff. And for that reason, a lot of Marvel IP is almost unusable by Disney World. Now, that is east of the Mississippi, and however, if you're in Los Angeles, you can use, for Disneyland, you can use Marvel characters. However, the term Marvel, based on the way the contract worked out and the agreements, you actually can't use the word Marvel in anything, which is why if you look at none of the marketing, none of any things like that. So if you look at, I know it's Anaheim. Why do we need to do this? It's in Los Angeles. Let's get over it. We're past it, Mr. Otter. We're past it. We all know. And if we don't know, we don't care. So out in Los Angeles or Anaheim, Disneyland can do Avengers Campus. So if you see they have their Avengers Campus, which I could pull up, they're making their Avengers Campus, which is supposed to be like a really cool section of their park, I believe. And it's dedicated to the Avengers. There's going to be a Spider-Man interactive thing. The Guardians of the Galaxy free fall ride, I believe, is part of that. And it's connected. And so it's going to look super awesome. It's going to be a great part for Marvel stuff. However, you will never see the word Marvel used in anything on that park. It will not show up. And the reason is because part of that agreement with the and part of that contract where the rights were given to Universal says east of the Mississippi, any parks used in America that are any Marvel rated characters will be used under Universal. But if you're apparently anywhere in the United States, regardless of location, cannot use Marvel in their marketing. So for some reason, I guess the way the rights were given out, Guardians of the Galaxy somehow didn't fit into the rights that were sold off. It was one of the more obscure rights. And so that's why you could see a Guardians ride in Epcot. But it's going to be a while, if at all, that Marvel's going to, or Disney's going to able to get those theme park rights. I'm going to bet you, though, I actually, and we could talk about this a little. This probably is the first thing we should address. Actually, let me get your thoughts on Avengers Campus. And then the next question, and so you can just roll right into the next one. Do you think that Disney will eventually buy back the Marvel rights from Universal for east of the Mississippi and be able to put stuff in Disney World? Because it doesn't seem like they've done that Universal's done anything with their rides. They've kind of kept the same like 3 Marvel rides that they've had. What are your thoughts on that? Sorry, that was a lot of stuff.
You're good. This isn't actually going to be the first time we're going to get an Avengers Campus, I believe, just in any of the properties. So Avengers Campus in Disneyland, California, they are going to be opening up sometime in the near future.
Right.
But they're going to be rushing an Avengers Campus, I believe, in Tokyo Disneyland with its own hotel that is based off of the Avengers Tower as well.
Oh, that sounds dope.
Oh, yes. So you enter
like
pretty much through like the Quinjet hangar or something like that from what the images show.
Oh, let me see if I can find it.
But what I do believe that 100%, this, I think it's just going to be so amazing. One of my favorite little features that they've been teasing so far is this Spider-Man animatronic. This is it right here, the middle one.
Oh yeah, yep. This is supposed to be an animatronic ride, right? A Spider-Man ride that's coming to.
Yes, yeah. So, if at any point you guys have like in a spare 5 minutes looking in the depths of the internet, depressed as anything in the middle of the night, please, I highly recommend go look up the animatronic that they're making for that ride for Spider-Man, because it literally just looks like a trapeze artist, you know?
Yeah.
Just like bouncing all around the place and jumping around and such. It's such an incredible piece of technology that to believe that it's just a machine is unreal.
Dude, it looks incredible. Every image that we've seen of the freaking Avengers Campus looks so good. I mean, look at this. This is all supposed to be stuff at Disneyland. There's going to be a big, like, Spider-Man's taking a lot of the front of this stuff. We're going to obviously get some Iron Man in there, but Guardians of the Galaxy is going to have their tower. The Quinjet, you're going to be able to, like, go on the Quinjet, like you said, and there's also going to be, like, meet the characters. It looks so good. I can't find any images. I tried to find images of what you were saying with the Tokyo hotel, but that sounds awesome. I mean, seriously awesome. So what do you think? So kind of moving the Avengers Campus, by the way, I saw Alyssa wasn't really sure on what it was. The Avengers Campus is basically a section of the Disneyland, of the LA Disneyland. that's going to be dedicated to Marvel and Marvel characters, and particularly Marvel Studios characters. So it's going to be primarily emphasizing the MCU. So it's going to be mostly based on the MCU, and it's really good. It's supposed to make you feel like you're in I think they've said through the multiverse, it's actually a universe in the multiverse, kind of similar to the way that they've connected the Star Wars canon. It's going to be like that. Mr. Otter, I swear, if you keep dropping that Anaheim, I'm kidding. It's fine. No, you know what? It's not fine, Mr. Otter. Perma banned. Drop the ban hammer.
Yeah.
No. I ban people over this. No, I'm kidding. But no, like, it's gonna look incredible. It's gonna be really cool. But we want to see it. It's at Disney World, right? Do you think it's likely that, or do you think it's even possible that they can get these rights back? And do you think they will?
So the rights, I believe that for that original contract expire in, get this right, it's either 6 or 5 years from now.
Okay.
So with that being said, 6 to 5 years from now, the timeline would probably go a year after whenever the contract itself would expire. Universal would have to switch out their rides and the Marvel rides if they hadn't already. But Disney themselves cannot physically start working on the ride until, or like working on a ride or a section of the park or anything like that until their rides, like the Universal rides, are gone.
Okay.
So it would probably be maybe another 9 years from now to get that into Disney World.
Okay.
So if you guys ever want to go and take your kids to Disney World, get them in a decade.
Yeah. Okay. Theoretically, could they? I'm wondering contractually if they could do that, or like legally. Wonder if they could like build a park and like, hey, we're just building a park. There's no plans for what it's going to be about. We're just building a park with no content based on it. Just a park. And then have everything built and like branded differently where they're like, oh, these are our generic rides. And then as soon as the rights transfer over, then they can say what it's for. Could you think they could legally do that? Because then you could just put the money out on it. You don't think they could?
No, because they still have to have like, all of those different
because you'd have to tell your investors
what their
and you have to
rides
do all
are,
this stuff. Yeah. Yep. That's true.
You got to ask your investors. People will be like, "What are we making now?" And you'll be like, "No, definitely not anything Marvel related."
Definitely not.
Nah.
Oh,
this is just a spider ride for our Charlotte's Web property.
Yeah, right. Oh, they have Oh, cool. John, Bad for Business just sent me there's an image. It's going to take a while to pull it up. So I'll just say what it is, but it's a Carol Danvers meet and greet. And there's like a legitimate like fighter jet in a hangar and you can like meet with her there. That's kind of cool. So there's a ton of like neat things they're going to do, in this. I think it's an old image. Yeah, but still like, that's pretty awesome. They're going to do a lot with it, but you're right. It could be a very long time until we can get a Marvel park. And it's a question of whether or not it's even going to be feasible at that point. Like whether or not, I mean, we talk about superhero fatigue. It's possible there could be fatigue at that point and people aren't really interested.
Oh, I'm sure. And that's going to be very much based on how like the next decade of Marvel films go as well. Because they're taking so many different punts on so many different properties.
Yep.
I feel like with this upcoming phase, like they had this, entire decade of properties with the Infinity Saga. It went amazing. It kicked off like they could even believe, Endgame was like a movie of a generation kind of stuff.
Yep.
But now they're unsure about where to go next, which is why they dropped, the 9-10 properties or anything like that or something like that for Marvel.
Oh man, I think they have a very good plan on it, man.
I think they have a great plan, but sometimes I look at all the properties and I'm like, where are you going? Is it too ambitious? This,
yeah. Oh, believe me, we got some fans in here that could tell you.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're right. Also, I just opened up Discord and I forgot to close you out. But okay. So they did see it. Okay.
I do believe EJ Rich Black Widow should be a part of the Infinity Saga.
It will technically be. So if you do a rewatch
in the Infinity Saga.
Basically, like after it comes out, you'll be able to go back and if you do your rewatch, you can put Captain Marvel in Phase 1 because it happens early, right? You do watch.
Yeah.
You'll start to be able to watch it in chronological order, where you watch the first Avenger, then you watch Captain Marvel, and then you watch the rest in the way they came out, and then you watch, with the exception of Black Widow, which will come right after Civil War, I think. So basically there'll be
it's in that like
yeah.
2-year gap or something like that between Civil War and Infinity War.
So it'll fit pretty well in there, I think, once we get to it. So so I want to move on. We have one more section to talk about. Just one more thing, like side note. Are you aware of any other like IP adaptations of park things that are coming? I've heard somebody mention that there was a what's it called, a Jurassic Park Universal thing coming.
Yes. So it is the new Jurassic World ride that's going to be coming out with the new Jurassic World movie, Dominion. It's not going to be in Disney World. It's Universal.
Oh, you're right. I thought so. I was like, wait a minute.
But yes, so I believe it's the Indominus coaster. I believe it's what it's supposed to be. It's this massive coaster.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be fantastic. It's supposed to be very cool. I think it's supposed to come out this year, actually. Mr. Otter, to your question, I don't go to SeaWorld, so I cannot get the animals out of there. So you can just do it whenever you want. I'll be safe over here, you know?
Oh, my goodness. That's cool. Oh, yes, it does look pretty dope. So anyway, like, that's kind of all that I had to say on this, other than, like, I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Star Wars. I think Star Wars right now is the big blue ocean for Disney in terms of what they can do, because obviously they're restricted with Marvel. I think they wait, do what they can, but they wait. And I think Star Wars, you really start to push Star Wars content and building more Star Wars parks. Because unlike Marvel, we don't know when the fatigue is going to set out, if it is going to for Marvel. I don't think it will. I think they're going to continue to succeed. But Star Wars seems to have a pretty tried and true fan base that spans a long series of generations in terms of movies.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a safer bet for business.
Yeah,
but
it took the 20 years for them just to do the prequel trilogies after the original 3 came out. So yeah, those people were dedicated to a T, I'd say.
So I think we definitely have it there. And then if you're saying, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying that I really am nervous about the next step that Marvel's taking. I think they have so many great chances to capitalize on like interesting ideas and properties. Like I'm excited for the new Doctor Strange film. The fact that that's going to be more of a horror movie, if anything else, I think it's going to be great.
Yep.
I think I love that, kind of idea and concept for them. Because it worked all right for the New Mutants, just being like a horror theme, but at the same time, it's kind of meh.
Yeah, and I know they're not going full horror. I know Kevin Feige backpedaled them a little bit, but they're kind of trying to focus on horror elements or like scary elements. So we'll have to kind of see how that turns out. I don't know though. I'm really excited for what's going to happen. WandaVision drops in literally 8 days, which is wild.
Yes,
and we're going to be watching that. Which,
it's
by
Friday.
The way, I'm going to get into some announcements on that as well. So stick around for that, because if you are going to watch WandaVision, you're going to want to hear a little bit. We're going to be talking about it a lot, so I'll tell you that. Last thoughts. I'm interested what you think. Do you think that Nintendo coming to Universal in LA and in Florida, do you think that's going to be the thing to see moving on? Like, do you think it's going to, for one, do you think it's going to give them the competition against Disney and really grow them to the scale that Disney World is? And do you think it's going to be the thing to see in the coming future?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Disney's been announcing a lot of new rides and a lot of new cool stuff, but like their big new attraction that brought everyone in was Galaxy's Edge.
Right.
And now that they pretty much don't have anything else to put in Galaxy's Edge, and besides the new hotel, I think when, Epic Universe, whenever that comes out with Super Nintendo World, I think that's going to be the place to go for like at least 2 years, like Galaxy's Edge was. Of just like 2 straight years, you want to do that, you want to go see that. That's the thing that people want to see. It's it's the thing that people are coming to see, just see like how cool it is and such. But I do believe that for like it'll definitely take the reins once that comes out over Disney.
Sweet, man. Well, seriously, I do really appreciate you coming on. It's been awesome. And guys, if I ever have any inside information on Disney or anything going on. It's definitely not coming from Patty, so don't get him fired.
Oh, yeah, great.
But thank you so much, man. Guys, don't
Of
go
course.
anywhere.
Thanks for having me.
I want to do like 5 minutes of quick announcements, so please don't leave. And I want to tell you guys about some stuff going on. But Patty, thank you so much, seriously, for coming on.
Of course.
We'll have to have you on again sometime, especially as we get like more news and kind of do some stuff fun in the future. Seriously, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Of course, man. Happy to help. Have
Yep.
a wonderful night. Thank you guys for having me.
You
Enjoy
too, man.
your night, boys.
Catch you soon.
Out.
Peace out. So with that, guys, we are going to continue with some announcements really quick, and then we're going to head out of here. What I want to tell you guys about some cool stuff that is going on in our just near future. As you know, tomorrow, which name does Patty go by over here in the chat? He is PaddyMC25. So if he's still in there, he might drop a hello. PaddyMC25. And you can also check him over at PaddyMC in Instagram. Check him out at PaddyMC. I think it's PaddyMC26 or 25 over on Instagram. So go check that out as well. Just a cool guy. Hangs out. He's a great dude. I've known him for a long time, and we've been good friends. He was in my first ever D&D campaign together with me. His name was Richard Fist. He was a great character. Seriously, guys, some cool stuff is happening. So if you guys are aware, Marvel Studios Legends, which is the series that's going to be following. Basically, it's a glorified recap, but it's going to be a recap series following all these different Marvel characters, MCU characters, and where they've been up until this point in the MCU. It's going to be a great way to catch up. Check that out because it drops tonight at 3 a.m. Eastern, midnight Pacific time. And we are going to be having a Discord discussion tomorrow at noon to talk about those episodes because there's dropping 2 episodes tonight. One on Wanda Maximoff and what she's done in the MCU to date, as well as one on Vision. We have a feeling that they're going to have a lot of indications on what that means for the future of WandaVision and what might be happening there. So we're going to be talking about that at noon today in the Discord. Every noon on Friday, we have a discussion in the Discord about the most recent content that's dropped, which is why next Friday, we will be having it on the WandaVision episodes from there on out. So once next Friday hits and the season drops, we're going to have spoiler discussions about the most recent WandaVision episodes in the Discord on Fridays at noon Eastern Standard Time. We also have regular community discussions every Tuesday at noon in the Discord. So if you haven't hung out in the Discord yet, !Discord, you can check that out. I highly, highly recommend it. Another really cool thing that we're doing. Oh, wait, I have to just tell you this, guys. This is really cool. I worked on this today, and I want to show you something that I've been working on. If you guys are a part of the community regularly, or if you want to be, I have made it a little bit easier to track my schedule, and I've officially added some stuff to the schedule. So let me show you this right here. Let me pull this up and eventually get rid of the other thing. I wanted to be able to kind of show you guys better graphically what my schedule is. And so I've worked on a master schedule for us that I will be following from here on out. Obviously, I've had a schedule before, but this schedule is a little bit more detailed. I'm going to pull it up here so you guys can see it. This is my new schedule. As you guys can see, I've added some new things. If you're having trouble reading it, don't worry. Another way you can check it out is by hitting !schedule in the chat. It'll drop a link, and you can go check out the schedule there on the drawings file where I made it. The schedule has some new stuff, so I want to announce what we're doing with the channel now and from moving forward. If you guys are interested in my schedule, here it is. So we're keeping our normal 3 scheduled Twitch streams that we normally do. Our Monday and Thursday streams at 6 to 8 p.m., which is our topics, and we have our topics of discussion. We'll bring some guests on. That's normal, just like everything else. Parker, I don't know what you're dropping in the chat, but anyway. So we have those discussions as well as our Wednesday Burktastic 4 from 5 to 7. Along with that, we've added some new things, one of which is our Burks Binges subscriber streams, which is going to be watch parties where you can come and hang out. And basically, if you're a subscriber, which I think a lot of you are, or if you've been gifted a subscription, then you guys have access to this in our Discord. And it's going to be watching different series. So we're going to be watching different different shows or movies, particularly going to be focusing on watching the first season of different shows to give you guys opportunity to check out new stuff that we like and we talk about here in the community. The first one is starting next Monday, this coming Monday. Let me get the date on that. The first one is coming this coming Monday on the 11th, and it's going to be from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it will be My Hero Academia Season 1. So if you're interested in anime or if you're looking to get into it and you already love superheroes, this is going to be a really good blend of that. It's going to be watching, it's basically a show that is about a superhero high school. It's a really, really cool show. I highly recommend come checking out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. And seriously, I think it's going to be a great time. It's we're going to be watching for the first 2 hours, 1 to 3 p.m. is going to be us watching the episodes. And then the last hour is going to be us talking about the episodes, what we thought about it. And we'll do that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And within a week, we'll have done, with those 3 episodes, with those 3 streams, we'll have watched an entire season of the show. And then the next following week, I think we're going to do the first half of season 1 of Clone Wars. And then we're going to jump over to One Punch Man, and we got a couple other stuff down the road. A lot of cool stuff on that as well. So if you are a subscriber, if you've been gifted a sub, which I think most of you have, come over and check that out. Another one is we're also adding a new discussion time every Thursday at noon in our Discord. We're going to be having a anime discussion of talking about, we might talk about My Hero as we're watching it, but we're also going to be talking about anime that we're checking out, giving some recommendations with each other, just generally hanging out as a community and talking together. That's open to anyone. Our Discord discussions all are. So our Monday, it'll now be Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at noon that we have our discussions in our Discord, open to anyone that wants to come out. Other than that, the last thing to add is that we're going to be every Tuesday night. Now, normally I don't stream on Tuesdays, but that's changing because Tuesday night at 9 p.m. from this point forward, and it might get moved to 10. Right now it's at 9 p.m. From now on, I'm going to be doing a subscriber-only stream. No current topic right now, but it's going to be a lot more similar to these types of streams. A little bit more relaxed, but it's going to be trying to stay a little bit more focused. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're a subscriber, if you've been gifted a sub, it's going to be over on Discord, a subscriber stream on Discord. So if you want more information, you can DM me on Discord, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Instagram, anywhere you want, and ask for more information. And the schedule is now always in the stream, ! Stream or ! Stream schedule. It'll show up there. That's it for those announcements. I did want to say, if you guys haven't joined, we're having a lot of fun in our community on Discord, and we're trying to do a lot of cool stuff. The battle bracket, the iconic video games battle bracket, I'm sorry that it's been a little bit pushed back. The reason it's been pushed back is because there's a lot of power sets for each character, and I want to give justice to each character, so I have to do a lot of research. And so it's a lot of writing. I have to give my time for it, but it's going to be there. So we're going to have a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline. Check out that schedule in a little more detail, and if you have questions, let me know. I tried to make it look like a Phase 4, like the Marvel Phase timelines. I thought that was kind of neat. And we're also looking at changing the logo up. So my logo should be getting a new update, a fresh new look soon. So keep an eye out for that as well. I'm working with AV Wells. He's been super helpful with that. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We have a lot of cool stuff coming down in the new year. I'm really excited for it. Most importantly, be on that WandaVision grind, because we are going to be talking about it every Friday at noon from now on about the WandaVision. We're in talks about maybe doing a season premiere and finale watch parties, but that's kind of in the air, and we might also do some rewatches stuff as well. So we'll be talking about it. We'll keep you posted, but I'm really excited, guys, in the future to see where this goes. So thank you guys so much. Seriously, I really appreciate you guys being here, and we will be streaming on Monday, but most importantly, come on out tomorrow at noon for the discussion on the Marvel Studios Legends stuff that's dropping out in the morning. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys so much for coming out, and I'll see you really soon.